The following program is for mature audiences only. None of the information provided is intended to be medical or any other professional advice requiring licensing through any regulatory agency. It is for entertainment purposes only. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Amy Satori. I'm an intuitive spiritual counselor assisting in raising the vibration of our planet. I was born with extraordinary gifts, experienced enlightenment for 6 months years ago, speak light language, and channel a being called Celeste, who is an ambassador for a galactic council of 60. I am able to scan your energy field for emotional blockages and talk to or aid in the healing of your organs using Qigong energy healing. I can also help you make decisions, talk to your pets, deceased loved ones, and your friends and family's higher selves. I can help you navigate your relationships and answer pressing questions in your life by talking with the unseen world. I use these skills I've developed to translate the images, feelings, impressions, and messages I'm given while tuning into you and your situation. I work Thursday through Saturday as a psychic for the Lighthouse Bookstore downtown Boulder, Colorado, and conduct remote readings all over the world. You can order a private reading from my website at amysatori.com. Please like, share, subscribe, and follow me here on Podbean, Instagram, my 1111 Twin Flame Forum on Facebook, and YouTube. Set a reminder in your phone to call live on the show any Sunday, 5:30 Pacific, 6:30 Mountain, 7:30 Central, or 8:30 Eastern, to ask me a question, receive a blessing, or have me do some energy work on you. So, my friends, without further ado, let's get to today's show. Hey, everybody, and thank you so much for listening to and watching the Satori Show. It has been the most gorgeous day here in Boulder. Oh my gosh. The sun's been shining. Went up and took a hike. I mean, it's just like the air smells good, good company. It's just been a gorgeous day. And no, you're not seeing things that actually have purple hair. It's very, very, very purple. It's going to turn pink. But right now, it's really purple. So, what we got going on here? Just going to wait for somebody to get on the line. All right, we've got our first caller. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hi.
Hi, can you... Oh, wow. I didn't think I'd just answer quickly. I'm sorry.
Surprise.
Hi. How are you, Amy?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, I guess we're starting. So I had just two quick questions.
The show. Yeah.
First of all, my name's Shelly. And I just wanted to get an energy update on my twin flame. And then I just had a second question.
Okay, cool. Okay, let me see here. He feels like he's just a little bit worried. It's like he wants to it's kind of like, I don't know, like he's ready. He's just like, am I forgetting something? Like, I don't want to forget anything. And so he's like double and triple checking everything or something. I mean, this is symbolic. So it does feel like he wants to go forward with you, and you're on the top of his mind, but he's about to make a move, I feel, soon. Within, gosh, it sure feels like it's going to be like maybe even a week.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just been getting ready.
Okay. Awesome.
He's really funny. He's really funny because he feels like somebody that would like I'm seeing him. If he saw like wrestling in the woods, he would like jump and run. So it's like getting a feel for his personality. He's hilarious. So yeah, he's
he's a character.
Yeah, he's like, I just want to make sure I got everything ready. I don't want anything to go wrong. And so yeah, he's going to be contacting you soon, I feel. Is there a
Awesome. I
specific
love to
question
hear
you want
that.
to ask about where he's at or anything like that?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, he's in a different state, and I know that he was living with his ex-wife,
Okay.
but I know it's no longer working, so it's just a matter of him getting out of that situation and moving back to where we're at now, or to where we're from. But yeah, I
Said
just
he wants to do
I
that?
have a specific. I'm sorry.
Has he said he wants to do that?
Well, it's just I've gotten a different reading, and then I also had a few dreams, and I never dream about him. It's like he's coming to me in dreams, like, and it's just confirming the readings as well, I guess.
I get a
like
yes
that
too.
He's opening up. Yeah. So I'm trying to just trust and everything, and just let it go and let whatever needs to happen happen. It's just hard sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, so let me feel into the situation with his ex for a second.
Sure.
You know, it's like they've already, it feels cordial. It's like they've already broken up or they've already gone into a separation or something. Whether he lives there or not, I'm not sure. I feel like he still kind of lives there, but it's kind of like they've agreed not to have relations or anything. It's not even like a temptation. They're just like, oh, well, we know the truth now, and it kind of feels good to admit it, you know? I think they both feel a little bit liberated by the situation.
Yeah,
and
because
so
I kind of got it too on her side too. Like she was kind of like just happy with that choice.
Oh,
They have a
good.
little girl together, so I think it's
Oh,
more
okay.
let's do this for her and let's just co-parent and be cordial.
Yeah, yeah, it's got a really good feel to it. I think they're doing good, and I think they're handling it well. And he's just excited to get on to his life with you. So,
Okay,
and a lot of feminines
okay.
ask. Well, and a lot of feminines ask me, well, is he thinking about somebody else or anything? And it's like, no, they've built up the courage for so long to be with you. They're not about to mess that up.
Awesome. I love to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, this is while they're in that separation period, not talking to you, they're comparing you with everybody that they see and interact with, really. I mean, they're just trying to, come to terms within themselves that they truly do want to be with you and why. Basically, is what's going on during that separation period. And it's really frustrating for the feminine to go through, but it's really kind of a necessary process for them. And it's almost like the silence is kind of proof of their love, because they really don't, they want to be thorough in their inward investigation, and they don't want to fool you, and they don't want to, take a misstep. So separation is a good thing. And if they're not coming forward, that's a good thing too, because they know best what's best for you guys. So
yeah, I can appreciate that now. We've been separated for a year now, and it's like I've seen where we were then to where we are now, and it's like, yeah, that was needed.
Yeah, isn't it amazing to see how fast they grow?
Yes, definitely. Like I've thrown some tantrums, and then I'm like, wait, I needed that. I'm sure he needed that as well. So yes, it is very needed.
Totally. And sometimes you just got to vent, or sometimes you just got to spill it all, just like totally expose your heart. And, it's very vulnerable, but it's liberating. That's living,
Yes,
that's
exactly.
that's living your most authentic life, is when you're able to just be free and just say what it is you got to get off your chest.
I agree.
So what was the other
question? So my other question is my life purpose. I've been really torn with what I'm meant to do, and I know I have the gift. I'm an empath, and I have clairvoyance and all of those, and I can be a little scared to admit, like I don't want to tap into some of that clairvoyance or mediumship, but I guess I battle with what my life purpose is, and I've been battling, especially the last week, just because I hate my job, and I'm like, I feel like there's something missing.
Yeah, it's funny because the universe has a way of like squeezing people out by making them more uncomfortable. It was kind of funny. Yeah, I was talking to this gal yesterday, and I said, it kind of feels like you're getting squeezed out, and you're gonna be having to go to this place. And she just like crosses her arms. She goes, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing it. And I just kind of smirked, and I said, well, if this is what the universe has in store, then it's going to turn up the uncomfortable volume until you finally hear it. So just bracing you. better be warned, because, if you're not doing your life purpose, it's going to like shake your world up. So yes, I feel like the volume's getting turned up for you. So tell me about some of these fears that you're having about your abilities.
Oh my God, I don't know, like I'm getting emotional here. I guess it's a lack of confidence. Like, I used to do tarot readings, and a lot of people would be like, wow, like you're so on point. And I've seen everything, come like happen as I've done these readings. Any gut feelings I've had, anything I've picked up on, I'm always on point. And I don't know, I guess it's more, I'm not confident in it. And I've seen my sister just like bloom, and I'm like, wow, like I wish I had that confidence, but it's just more I'm holding myself back.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all, that kept me at bay for 20-something years.
Yeah.
But the producer that helped me to put this show together used to say that to people all the time. I bugged her for 20 years to do something about this.
Yeah.
So I know. But basically, you eventually get to the point where you get, you'll get tons of validation, and then you'll get somebody who says, no, that wasn't right, or no, this really doesn't resonate. You'll get all that kind of stuff, but it's supposed to resonate for whoever it's supposed to resonate for. And even my collective videos, I'm sure there are bits and pieces for everyone, because I intend for there to be something in those messages for everybody, and that's one thing you can do too. But there's always, like, there are those that really resonate strongly with the message. So, and they needed it just like it was delivered. But here's the thing that I've kind of come to realize too. It's not, the pressure isn't all on you. So I work at the Lighthouse Bookstore Thursday through Saturday. So I see everybody from every walk of life. And you wouldn't believe the range of people that I see. I mean, they're from everywhere on the planet. Even some of them talk to aliens. And there's like, I see and hear it all. And so you can imagine, I get the real stubborn people and I get the very open people. And one thing is that, just like, I think, I don't remember where Jesus said this in the Bible, but according to your faith will it be done. And I recently, like a month ago or so, I had a daughter come to me, and she said, my mom and I came for a reading, and you told us both some really great things about things that are going to happen in our future. And she said, for me, I was completely open and excited to hear all of it. I believed it, and I just went forward, and it all happened for me. She says, but my mom, she had her arms crossed, and she didn't want to believe it. She didn't, and all this. And she dug in her heels, and she goes, and none of it happened for my mom yet. She said, so I told her, Amy's right, but the timing might be off because you're being so stubborn. So why don't you try to believe and see what happens? And I thought, wow, that was really smart of her. And it's true.
Yeah.
I've seen that time and again. So it's not all on your shoulders. And if somebody's just, it's even hard to read people who are really cut off and really skeptical, and they're, being difficult. Sometimes I'll just say, if you don't want to, I've gotten so confident in the things that I see that I'll put it on them. I'll see an image or something, and then I'll say, why do you think I'm seeing this? Why do you think it's coming here? Why is Spirit showing this to me? If this is true, that this is here, that I'm seeing this, which it is, and I am, then why do you think that would be? I make them think about it. I put it back in their court, and I'm like, there's a reason I'm being shown this, so you can help me figure this out if you want. You can work with me, or we can just waste our time and just sit here for a few minutes. I still get paid either way,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
cooperate with me and just kind of relax. A lot of times when they've done that, they apologize too. They're like, by the end of it, they get a really great message, and so much resonates. And I can't tell you how many times, almost all the time, people say, oh my God, I just talked to my friend about that before walking down here, and I didn't know why I was drawn to you, but I was, and everything that you've said has been absolutely spot on. So you get to a point where you realize that, you're just absolutely confident in your abilities, and if somebody's not buying it, they've got the problem, not you. You know what I mean?
Sense. Yeah, 'cause I think I battle a lot with that. And even when I would do these readings, I felt so good because I feel like, you know, a good chunk of people, they're like, wow, like even days after, they're like, you really made me think about this or that. And it just made me feel so good because I was able to help them in some way. Like that's what I want to do. I'll be able to help people any way I can or through my own experiences. And that's why, like, at the job I'm at now, I don't feel that.
Yeah. Well, and you can, you know, feel free to tell them, you know, when it comes to timing, I'm about 50% accurate, you know, because it's almost impossible to be really accurate with timing because, and a lot of people won't even give you timing. They won't even try to guess because they've gotten some feedback that they were wrong. But the thing is that there are parallel realities, and it's so hard to understand that stuff, but there are so many different, you can jump to other timelines so quickly. All you have to have is a realization, epiphany, idea, and you're like right over into this other timeline where maybe the same stuff happens, but it happens a little bit later or earlier, or something totally different happens and somebody intercepts. Just like in, what was that movie Ashton Kutcher was in that talked about all the different timelines and Butterfly Effect? Something like that. I don't know how it all works, but I do know that if you try to have a pure intention, if you're unbiased and you're not trying to sway them or make stuff up or try to, you know, pretend in any way, if you're genuinely trying to tune in, then just ask the person to work with you as to what everything means and ask them to be patient with you. And you will build a clientele of people who totally believe in you and support you. And that clientele will build and build until, you know, you've just got some awesome, like an awesome soul tribe behind you, like what I got going on.
Yeah, I know. So, I admire that. I'm like, wow. Yeah, that's definitely what I would love. Yeah. And I actually, today I was watching a video, and I was talking again about fear and about going for it. And then I was like, you know what? As soon as my lease is up, and this came out of nowhere today, and I was so sure that I just still didn't know what my purpose was. I just know I was going to relocate. And I told myself, I'm going to move to Charlotte as soon as my lease is up next May. And I'm like, I'm just going to do that and then go from there. And then, but now with what you're telling me, too, that gives me even more motivation.
Yeah, and a lot of times, like, the messages that come through are really subtle, so we disregard them.
Yes.
Like every once in a while, I'll get a specific name, or I'll get like 3 years, or there'll be some kind of message that comes across, and I won't say it. Either they're talking, or I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, I'll even doubt it. And then a few minutes later, they're like, oh, she's 3 years older. I'm like, damn, why didn't I say it?
You're like, I knew that.
I knew it, and I didn't say it. But it just frustrates you because you weren't paying attention, or you weren't on it, or you weren't confident enough to just blurt it out. And sometimes that backfires too. And you say something and they're like, nope, his name's not Charlie or whatever. And you're like, oh. and then you add
Charlie,
to it.
That's my DM out of all the names you said, Charlie.
That happens all the time. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how much that happens. If you guys could record me, I wish you could, because this is, I mean, it blows my mind. I mean, sometimes I'm just flabbergasted by the way the intuition works. It's like amazing. But there's also times when people will, what was I going to say? Something about how, it really is just a thing you got to feel out and get more confident in as you go. You can ask your guides to help you refine your abilities. You can ask them to get, like, if you're not sure if it's a yes or no, or you're kind of wavering at all. I mean, that's what they're there for. They're like waiting. They're on the edge of their seats waiting for you to ask them for help. So you could ask for like really clear signs, or to make things obvious to you, or, you could come up with codes. I have a lot of codes. Different colors mean different things. The way things move means something to me. If it's written versus spoken, there are so many different things that they've taught me through the years. And like sometimes they'll show me a guitar for music, and sometimes it actually means music, and sometimes it actually is a guitar. So then I have to feel out, okay, is this about, it's really a thing that you have to, you're never going to be perfect at it. It's not a perfect sort of thing. It's more your your union with the other side and how you're able to listen and how humble you can be and how unbiased you can be, in my opinion. I think the good psychics try to really stay pure, and they try to stay like out of their heads when they do this kind of work. I think those make the best, of what they do. And just speak whatever comes out. I mean, the mistakes that I make aren't mistakes at all either. If I accidentally say like flower instead of tower, they'll be like, whoa, because I was just given a flower a second ago, or, I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, that's actually a mistake.
You'll get there. Just don't, and get to a point where you also don't care what anybody thinks. That's key too, because people could call you an imposter or whatever they want to, but I don't see them out there trying to do this kind of work. This is not an easy job. This is not, and people act like people are out there trying to fool people, and I suppose there are those people, but I don't know. I mean, I would suspect that if you're making stuff up or something like that, you'd get all kinds of comments of people being like,
stuff.
what are you talking about?
Exactly. And I guess one more question that we're talking about that. As an empath, I tend to feel a lot of people's, I notice pain, especially like physical pains and ailments. I'll feel it. And do you have something like, I guess, like how to go about that? Because it's sometimes that I cannot get rid of it. Like I had a coworker that had this nerve pain, and I was like almost in tears. I didn't know how to just not feel it.
Okay, so it's funny because a lot of it gets tripped up in our thoughts. So for me, it's kind of like I have a zoom lens in my mind's eye. I didn't make this up. It just kind of, this is how my ability started to happen. But it's kind of like when I tune into, I have the intention, when I'm walking around a normal person, I'm not tuning into things. I'm not running around feeling everybody's feelings. But when I tune into somebody and I consciously sit down in a reading and I just go, okay, what's going on here? Let me see what you're going through, or they'll say like, what's my grandma feeling right now? Is she okay? Or whatever. I can feel into her grandma and I can go, oh, ouch, and I can feel that pain for a moment, just subtle enough that I get what's going on, but not so much that it takes me over and becomes me, because I know that it's her. And all I'm doing is zooming in on it. And then the minute I feel that pain, I pull right back, because now I've identified it. It brought the purpose, right? I got the purpose out of it, and I was able to communicate it's in her chest or whatever. Once I get that answer, I can pull back that lens and look at the bigger picture again and go back. So I think you just need to become more disciplined with the way that you're kind of zooming in and zooming out and realizing it's them, it's not you. And there's a purpose in it. You're not just feeling it to just feel it. You're feeling it for a purpose, and you go achieve that purpose, and then you get the hell out of there. You don't stay and linger and be her, Yeah. So, so also what you could do, I suppose, would be to just cleanse your own energy after you've connected with somebody like that. Oftentimes between readings, I go wash my hands, and that's my way of wiping them off of me. I have rose water in my area too. I spray rose water all over, especially if there's any kind of lingering anything. So there are things like that you can do to kind of clear the energy between people. Also, just saying, this isn't me. This isn't me, and then you could send that person a blessing or do healing work on them if you do that type of thing, to help them clear it out. If you have their permission, I wouldn't do any healing work on anybody without their permission.
Okay.
So, I mean, your higher self puts you through pain so that you will do something about it. So maybe if it's lingering, you need to do something to help. If not, you just feel it out. Just work with your guides and figure out. You can even ask them questions. Say, am I feeling this pain just because it's lingering and I don't know how to hone this in? Should I cleanse it? Or should I, just ask a ton of questions and get like a yes or no type of feel going on, like know where the yes is and know where the no is, so that you can feel out when you're talking to your guides what they're communicating back to you as to what you should do, because maybe you shouldn't listen to me And maybe you should listen to what they say, because maybe they're like, we're trying to teach you a new ability. We're trying to teach you something totally different, that somebody else isn't going to tell you, because maybe I've just never ventured there before, and you're going to come up with something totally new. So it's always better to check with your guides about things like that. You may be onto something really cool, too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate you, because I've been freaking out and just like kind of torn with everything, and you've helped calm me, put me at ease, and giving me some pointers here to venture out. So thank you.
You're welcome. And I guess there's just one thing just jumped in my head too. When I first started this, I was really intimidated, because I'm like, oh my gosh, they've made me the featured reader at the Lighthouse Bookstore. And I was like, all this pressure. People are coming to me for answers on everything in their life, everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, what do they think I am? And then in that moment, I decided it's not about me. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just a conduit. So what I say to them is, I say, I don't have any answers for you, but if we sit down together and explore, I'm happy to tell you any impressions I get by listening to my spirit guides and yours, and finding out what we can find out about that. I get some answers for you. Now, if I get prompted from my own database and my own knowledge, my own maturity level, all of that comes to me, then I will naturally speak those things. But if I need to pull in information from the other side, then I'm happy to do that. So I just let them know that I'm a willing participant in helping them figure it out. That way there's not so much pressure, and it's not like she has all the answers. And it also keeps you pure in the sense that you will continue to check in with the other side. You're not going to give everybody the same answer necessarily. You may give a lot of people the same answer because you just found some really great effective tools or something that you like to recommend, but it also keeps you checking in every time when they come in and sit before you. It's like very fresh. It's like even sometimes that I'm tempted to just say, oh, we'll just do this, but I'll stop myself and I say, well, let me check, and I'll just make sure. And sometimes my guides too, if I start going down a different path, they'll give me a feeling of, ooh, hang on, wait a minute, there's more to that. And I'll add, and I'll stop, and I'll ponder, and I'll figure out what happened there. And it's, it's not like I went off track, but it's just like there's more to it than that. It's more complicated, and they'll show me the different angles of how it goes deeper. Then I can explain further, and then they're like, oh, totally, So
yeah, like that makes sense. It resonates with them more. Yeah.
Yeah, and remember this too. This is a lot of tips, but there's another thing that I became aware of too as I went along, is that the things that are happening in my personal life are very much a message for everyone else too. So I will have, let's say I go back and I'm on my break and I'm having lunch or something, and then I see something. There's a bee, or I'm watching something on YouTube and it has a certain message. Something happens, right? Coyote or something. I will go into the next reading, and within the next few readings or so, all of those different things that I saw or experienced or whatever somehow come into play with those readings as well. So you got to be paying attention.
I've had that happen to me. Yeah, that happened to me, and I thought it was just me. Like, it's just you, Shell. It's like you didn't focus. Nope. But now that you say that, that makes sense. Yep.
The universe is unbelievably synchronistic and magical beyond what you can even imagine. So you have to be paying attention all the time. You have to be very, very self-aware to be super effective. I mean, you'll just be like, boom, boom, boom. When people are sitting in front of you, it will be like, yes, no, that should be. And then this connects to that. And it's so unbelievable. It's so incredible. When you start feeling that magic of all that synchronicity happening, you just feel like you're just on this ride, and you're just being used by the universe in such a powerful way, and it's exhilarating. It's so rewarding.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
all right. Well, good luck.
Amy, for all those pointers. You gave me a lot of pointers there. So I look forward to it, and I'll keep you updated. But thank you for your show very much. Like, I'm about to sit now and listen to the whole show, because I enjoy your show very much. So thank you for this time.
Hey, thank you so much. Awesome.
All right. Thanks. Have a good night.
All right. You too. Okay. Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
How are you?
How are you? I'm good.
Good. I actually called in a couple weeks ago for my first time, so I'm back. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
First, I just wanted to say thank you for. I was listening to the previous call, and I have been feeling a little disconnected for like the past month or so, or maybe even the month and a half, and I had forgotten like how magical that synchronicity is when it happens, and like when you're in the midst of it. So I appreciate you bringing that up and talking about it, because I kind of forgot about the magic of it, and recently it's been coming back in. So
Good, yay.
I called in last week, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, and you probably don't remember, but I was asking about the energies of two guys that I was had a connection with, and I also feel as if I have a twin as well. So I was asking about all of them, and I'm still in sort of a relationship with what I would consider to be a soulmate, I think. And then I have the twin energy that's kind of on the outside, and I'm a little confused on if I should continue in this soulmate dynamic, or if it's come to an end, or if I've learned what I've needed to learn. And then I kind of wanted to see also what's going on, like with the energy of my twin, if that's possible.
Sure. Yeah, let me feel into the soulmate, or the one that you're in a relationship with. Well, let me ask you this. Why do you feel like it's ending?
I don't feel like it's ending. It feels like it was guided into like my experience to show me something, and then also to like for us to be learning from each other. But there's these little things that kind of pop up, and a lot of these like signs and synchronicities that pop up that make me think maybe this is more than just like a temporary lesson, if that makes sense. And I'm starting to wonder if there's actually something a little bit more, like maybe this is something that should go a little bit far. Like, I'm not trying to end it. I think maybe I stepped into it just assuming that it was. I think sometimes we get into that when we have like this energy of a twin that's kind of lingering, and thinking that will be where we'll end up eventually, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so when this came into my experience, I was like, well, I'll just let it come in, and not thinking that it was really gonna turn into anything. And now I'm starting to get a little confused, because I'm wondering, like,
you're having feelings.
You know, right. Yeah.
I get it. I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. Let me feel into this. Yeah, I think he can feel that. I think he senses. Have you told him about the twin flame?
Not yet, but it's something that's like the topic has come up without me actually saying what the topic is, because I actually have a book that's been published, and it's like literally titled "Awakening to the Twin Flame Journey." Okay. He knows about that, and I know that he's going to read it. So it's one of those things where I know it's eventually going to have to come up, and he's kind of I know that he knows there's something there, but he's not quite sure like what that is. I don't even really know how to navigate that conversation, to be honest. You know. Well,
I mean, I've been getting to know a guy, and I've told him everything.
Really? How did that go?
Yep. He doesn't seem to bat an eye.
Interesting.
He doesn't care. Doesn't bother him at all. I mean, he really likes what we have going, so he's just like, whatever. They snooze, they lose, you know. So yeah, he's just very confident. So, but I definitely feel like your guy is, you know, he's definitely feeling like there's something going on that he doesn't know about, and I think is making him a little bit nervous. He does feel soulmatey to me, and the way you know a soulmate, and I think mine is a soulmate as well. But the way you know a soulmate is they're very easy and comfortable, and hardly anything rattles them. It's like it just works really well, and it's super, super awesome. So let's just see. You know, it's such a tough thing, because You know, you've got the twin flame over there, like not stepping up to the plate, and then all of a sudden they grow overnight, and then you're with this soulmate, and then you're like, well, what do I do now? So, I mean, I get the position that you're in, but at the same time, there's something to be said about the guy who shows up.
Yeah.
You know, and he's solid, and he's consistent, and he's there for you, and he is, you know, if he's showing up if he's showing up correct, let's say if he's showing up correct and he's doing right by you and everything, then you know, I'd be faithful to that one. I would.
Yeah, and I'm definitely allowing it to I'm allowing it to unfold the way that it needs to. I think that's part of it, is just trusting that, you know, that I don't need to get wrapped up in the idea of like a forever type of thing anyways, and that I can just allow it to just unfold, because I'm sure that there's, regardless of how long it lasts, there's something there to show me something. You know, maybe it will last a while, maybe it won't, and I think I just because I feel twin energy coming in, and I think that's why I'm just getting a little, I don't know. Well, I feel for the people.
I totally understand. I'm still being bombarded with my twins, synchronicities and stuff, and I just roll my eyes. It's all the time. It never leaves. Never. No. My soul flame too. It's like I just like always. So I guess that's just going to be there, you know, but at some point you just have to trust the universe, trust the flow, trust knowing that everything happens for a reason, and that, you know, nothing's ever guaranteed, and the twin could come in and be totally inconsistent and run away again. You know, right. Maybe he's grown a ton and he comes with this big presentation, and then he gets all scared again. Then you guys start talking again and stuff. So you're just going to have to feel it out intuitively as you go. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a real simple thing that you're able to be told, but I think both of them are great options. And the twin flame does feel like he, you know what he looks like to me? It's really funny. I'm seeing like one of those video games or something that's got like a radar, you know, and you're sitting here with that little soulmate in the middle, and he's like a blip on the radar going blip, 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 like headed straight at you, like you're a sitting target. And he's like a submarine or something, or torpedo. That's what it is. Oh my gosh. So I don't think he knows about the soulmate, and I think the soulmate senses the twin flame. So I don't know. You know, I would just let the soulmate know. I don't know if I would go. I don't know. Just be open. Just try to be as open as you can possibly be. That's all you really can. I mean, I know another feminine who's told she's about to get married to one of her people, and her twin flame still hasn't shown up. He's in a relationship. You guys won't even believe this. Okay, so he's in a relationship with a karmic that he feels he's stuck with, that the karmic wants him to have her kids. He does not want to have her kids, doesn't even want to be with her, tries to break up with her all the time. And I know, and he dreams of and fantasizes about being with his feminine and having kids with her. And yet he's not breaking it up. And he's also not leaving the relationship yet, but yet he tells his feminine he wants to all the time. Yeah. So
isn't that funny how that works? It's almost like there's nothing. Like, what is it?
I can't even imagine. It's like at the point where it's that messed up, and it's like if you've tried to break up several times, it's like you're obviously not yelling it loud enough. And shutting all doors and blocking them completely. If they disrespect you so much that they're begging and pleading and trying to get back in and manipulate the way back in, just be done. However you got to do, move. I don't know, but stay in a situation.
It's interesting. It's almost. It seems like people have these. It seems like there's like a contract or something, because I have some friends in my life, and even people I've done readings for, where it's like there seems to be some kind of just contract that hasn't expired yet or something. I'm like, what's going on? Why are you still repeating the cycle when you know you don't want this? It's so odd to me.
Yeah. And they know they'll admit, I don't want to be with this person. It's like, but the problem is that what can happen is the person could cheat on them, which is pretty common. They self-sabotage and they end up cheating on them. So then they really hurt by that, and then their feelings get all mixed up in it, or they get the person pregnant.
Right.
So, I mean, it's very risky to stay in a situation that you know you don't want to be in. It's really sticky. Or they figure out a way. They get really clever. They get more clever every time you break up. More clever. And then they'll be like, ooh, I'll come up with a way that I need you financially. I'll come up with a way that you need. Oh, I got a good one. You know, and they spend a lot of time trying to figure out how they can hook them.
I know.
So,
all these lessons, though. When they finally get out, hopefully there's been.
Yeah, hopefully they're like totally wise and they're like, oh my gosh. So hopefully they can relax with you, you know, like let their guard down after all that. Hopefully. Hopefully they're not all jumpy. Oh, you're going to do the same thing.
Yeah. Can you? Just one really quick question, because I just kind of want to know the soulmate. Does he feel like he wants it to go like longer? Does he want that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's trying not to force it, and he also doesn't want to get hurt either.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's intuitive. He can feel that there's something else going on.
Yeah. He's very intuitive. He doesn't talk about it, but he definitely is. And then the twin just feels like a
torpedo.
Like a beeping ship. Okay.
Yeah. Now, let me try to get a feel for like what he'll be like when he does show up. I would just ask him a ton of questions or really try to, like, don't pussyfoot around. Like, ask real direct questions. Don't let him get away with just general answers, because you really got to sort through to the bottom of it. Otherwise, I feel like he's going to be inconsistent.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to do that. He's going to do that Knight of Wands thing. Show up, not show up. Show up, disappear. Show up, disappear. And it's going to be really annoying as heck.
Yeah.
So if, you're going to talk to him when he gets there, but like really have it out, really feel out where he's at, and just ask the tough questions that you don't want to ask. Don't be afraid to push him away, because you really want what you want in life, you know?
Yes, I agree with that.
So get to the bottom of it. Even make a list of questions, things you've always wanted to ask him, maybe, and then here he comes, and you pull that thing out of your purse. Okay, here we go. I got to know these things.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it, because that's kind of what I've been thinking too. I've gotten to a place where I think before some of those questions were difficult because you were kind of scared of the answers, but now I'm just like, what do I have to lose at this point?
Exactly. You got a great soulmate who's awesome. Sure.
Right.
You know, and you never know what happens down the line. Your soulmate could leave you, or you could leave them, or, I mean, nothing is ever guaranteed, not even the twin flame or anybody.
Yeah.
So,
it's just,
let it all evolve. And even if you can't be with your twin flame, you guys have a natural thing about you of growing each other. Just knowing each other exists kind of helps you develop and spiritually. So it's a really beautiful thing it provides, even if you guys aren't together, or even if you guys go apart. I just saw a movie last night. Gosh, what was that movie? Oh, What a Girl Wants. You guys should see that. They're like apart for 17 years. And she never does go out with any other guys or anything. She's like sitting there waiting for 17 years. And he, all the time, would totally misunderstood some things and just assumed she didn't want to be with him. So he totally moved on and everything. And she was like sitting there waiting for him going, I thought he loved me. How come he hasn't shown up and fought for me or done it, So I was like going, oh gosh, this is so typical of true love, Oh my God.
Right, because we dance around all these things that we want to say, and it's just like whatever now, like once you've done the healing and the clearing, and you know how to be there for yourself, it's like why not ask the questions and just say how it is, speak your truth and just let it be, and then totally. if you get rejected and you get turned down, it's fine. Like totally. What's the alternative? You just never said anything, and you were misunderstood for 17 years.
Oh my gosh, yes! Don't do that. have it out. Get to the bottom of the truth and figure it out, then have some peace of mind. Don't let an understanding fester forever.
Yeah.
That just seems like it seems like a waste of time, but on the other hand, it's like when you watch the movie too, it's like they developed a ton in that time. And by the time they were able to be together, they were just like so unbelievably in love and like totally ready to be radically themselves,
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch that now.
I know. It's a really cute little movie.
Good.
So,
all right, Amy, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
You too. Bye.
All right. Bye. Hello?
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
How are you?
You're calling from Instagram? That's what your note
no,
says.
I'm not. I actually I was just flipped on my Instagram and I started scrolling down and it said, "Oh, call right now if you wanted to." I'm like, well, maybe I will. Well, maybe I'll just talk to Amy right now.
That's awesome.
Oh no, I just actually it's so weird because I just started watching some of your readings. I don't know, maybe like a month ago, just flipping through and just kind of started connecting with your readings and resonating and then I know you mentioned something about, you could probably find out everything in this $22, dollar reading or whatever. So I just had a reading with you probably a week ago. And it was the 4 or 5 minute, little reading or whatever,
quick relationship spread, yes.
Yeah. So, you actually had said a few things that I was actually feeling and thinking, at the time when you read it, I know you had said something about, he may be contacting me in a couple weeks, and I've just been, feeling this. I'm like, there's been no communication for, 2.5 months. But, yeah, because it just, just kind of cut off kind of weird. But it seems the last couple of years, this time of year, because he leaves the country, it always kind of fades and then picks back up in the fall when he comes back to the United States. So, and that's even if he shows, I don't know if he's coming back for work because he's a professional athlete. So I don't know if he'll be coming back from playing again in the United States. So I'm not sure. But anyway, I was just calling, it's not very often I get to talk to like-minded people. So I probably could just talk to you about all kinds of different things, but, my spiritual awakening was, it was about almost 3 years ago. I'm a flight attendant, so I was actually on a layover in Kansas City when I had my spiritual awakening and I believe I did some astral traveling one night.
Wow.
And
holy cow.
Really connected. It was just a really weird, not weird, it was actually a beautiful experience. A lot of times when things happen to me, I don't really understand what's happening to me until afterwards. I feel like I kind of had a little bit of a Kundalini awakening when I had connected with my twin for the first time after a 9-month separation last fall. And my guides kind of basically told me that, basically what had happened. I know everybody has different gifts, so for me, I use my pendulum a lot, and I know I connect just easier. I could have full-on conversations with my guides, through my pendulum. That's just what I do. And, I've just had a whole lot, different gifts that have opened up through this whole experience, and started doing Reiki and, some light language, and I know you do light language, and, I had some activation with a girl in my hometown that actually does that, so I've been kind of just working on that a little bit, but, this whole twin flame thing is just, it's just so many questions, and it's I guess I always question myself, are you doing the right thing, being celibate, and I say I'm open to dating, but am I really open to dating? I've been single for 2 years. My whole life fell apart. Last year I got my divorce, and I lost my house, and I lost my full-time job, and I lost a dear friend, and I had to sell my beautiful home and move into just everything changed for me last year. Like, I had tower moments going on like every month. I'm like, I just survived it all. But I just have a lot of good things happening right now with my career. I've been manifesting like a lot lately. So I don't know. I just was wondering if
So what's? Yeah, let me. I may have to let the dog that I'm watching go outside for a second.
Yeah, I can hear him in the background.
Like, what in the world?
Right,
I know. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
Dogs give me so much work. I mean, I took her. Yeah, I gave her dinner, took her out for a walk because she has pooped and peed several times. She's just totally fine. She should be totally set, but no.
Oh yeah. So, my dog's the same, but yeah. So
okay, so let's see.
Like, in the spring, like of April, was the last time we had seen each other, and just like a brief, he's got a karmic, he's got a karmic partner, and it's been dealing with this for a couple years, and I know this, it's the typical story. He's unhappy, he's not happy, he feels like a failure. The financial issues, the kids are the big thing for him. With the divorce, they would be on the other side of the world if he came to the state. I mean, there's just a lot of obstacles, which I get, and I totally understand. So basically, the last time we've seen each other, I basically, kind of made it clear, like, it's just not something that I wanted to continue under this circumstance, because, I keep hearing boundaries, and, I'm in love with him, and he has said many things to me. You're very special. To say I care is an understatement, those kind of things. You can feel something, but yet he's not said those words. And he just said that he knows it has to happen. He just doesn't know when, what, or how. He just doesn't, he can't seem to just figure it out.
Okay.
And it's basically the last time I've seen him. He said he needed to work through things.
Yeah. Gosh, it just feels like it could take him. It's that double life thing again, It's like you would think they'd be desperate to figure it out and to break free and to fly. But in a way, there's an eerie kind of comfort with them settling for somebody that they don't like.
Yeah.
It's like they can't really fail anyone. They can't really get hurt all that bad.
Yeah.
So it's a really weird dynamic. So it kind of feels like he could take a while. So if you can somehow be happy, if you can just make your life the best it can be, like just act like he doesn't exist in one sense, that you like build a life for yourself, a successful career, you get yourself a home, you just make your life the happiest it could possibly be without a man.
Right, which I have. I'm finally to that. I mean, I have a nice home, and I've like manifested a pretty nice career. I fly private, so I've found some very good clients, and I've managed to manifest 10 grand in the month of May,
Awesome.
in like 2 weeks.
Nice. That's awesome.
I would like 10 grand by the end of the month, and it happened. I think it was like,
that's
I don't know
awesome.
if it was on the full moon or the new moon was one of them, but I do all those rituals. So, yeah, I mean, and this is probably the best I've felt since this journey started about, like, it's being, but I feel like, I mean, and I went through a point where, I did go, feel lonely because I've always been with somebody my whole life. I mean, I'm 49. So, since a teenager, I've been through 2 marriages, and I've always had somebody, and this is a choice for me that I'm not just going to just do whatever, date whatever, or booty calls, or whatever people do when they're single. I've just chosen not to go that route.
Exactly.
So it got really lonely, and now, I mean, I'm having fun. I have good friends. I go out. But I'm not so much into the, drinking and doing that kind, it's very hard to find like-minded people, and just, people just, in my town, I'm from a very small country town, so it's really hard. So, it does get, I'm alone a lot. I have 4 kids. 3 of my kids are grown, and I still have 1 teenager at home, but I'm alone a lot, and it's a kind of a confusing time, I mean, I've talked, that, I try, and then I feel like every time I do finally get a date or something happens, it just literally doesn't happen. And I can I can go out, and I can look, and I can meet, and nobody interests me.
Yeah. It's almost like
nobody.
Well, when you meet somebody of that caliber, it's like, and they don't even think that of themselves, which is hilarious. They don't realize how special they are.
He's like, I don't deserve this, and I'm thinking,
exactly.
Okay, I don't understand why you're saying this to me right now.
Yeah, but once you've found that sweet connection with somebody that's so incredible, it's like you don't even want to waste yourself anymore. It's like sex doesn't even mean the same thing anymore at all. Dating doesn't mean anything. It's like everything loses its meaning except for something that's deep, And it's like
and it's deep. Yeah, and I can't even I can't. Yeah, it's going to have to take somebody really, really
incredible, though.
Amazing.
If you think about it, though, isn't this the most incredible you've ever been in your entire life?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I was so, the attachment to men or people, or anything from outside of myself to make me happy. I mean, and I always said to myself, why can't you be happy? Like, you have everything. You have a good job, you have a husband, you got great kids, you got a beautiful home, you have a boat, you have all these things. I'm like, why don't I feel happy? And I can tell you I've lost everything, and I don't, very little, I don't have a man. I mean, obviously I still have my kids. They're wonderful, but I actually am really happy. I am a very happy person, and I do have a totally different perspective on life. And my attitude is everything is way more positive than it used to be. And because I used to be a little bit of a negative person, I mean.
Yep, me too.
I mean, always pretty happy, but it was always like I guess a complainer, like oh God, it's like, and I just didn't realize at the time that I was throwing that out in the universe. Like, I didn't understand the whole law of attraction or any of those things, So
yeah, I
wish I knew then what I know now, but I guess it all happens for a reason. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have really detached and and I have let that go, and I do feel better because, and I even know when you're reading, like you had said, maybe I wanted to just text them and just say, hey, the door's open, and usually I always do. I'm always the one that will say, hi, and
don't forget about me.
Yeah, I mean, but I always did it because I was fearful. Like, I was scared. Like, I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want to lose that connection with him. Like, I just want him to know I'm here. And it was always good. And then it had been like last summer, it went 2 months. And I'm just like, hey, just wanted to say, hope everything's going great, blah, blah, blah. And then it came back kind of like, I think about you every now and then. And I said, okay, every now and then. Well, maybe a little lot more often than that. And then all of a sudden I was like, okay, well, whatever. Have a great summer. Hope, whatever. And then 2 days later, I get a text in the middle of the night. Wish you were here. Then it was all sexual, right? And then it was totally opposite. I'm like, where is this coming from? I'm like, out of the blue, like things that I felt, but nothing that, like, because here I'm thinking his response was just like, so I'm thinking, well, he's not missing me or not whatever, and then he really was,
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of the
they think
summer,
about you as much as you think about them.
Well, Amy, I'm telling you, like, I thought, well, because it had been almost 9 months. Like, I mean, with, was communication, but no physical, get to see each other. And then all of a sudden it was like, I know that I have to see you. I have to kiss you. I have to just, and that was just like out of the blue. Like, out of nowhere. Like, I literally was the happiest person in the world. When I got that text, I was like,
Aww.
what?
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, just remember, too, that you're not going to be left. You haven't been forgotten. Those of you listening who are in the same situation, if you've created a happy life and you've learned to be happy despite circumstances, if you can work through the loneliness, if you can work through some of these issues, you are raising your vibration. You're helping the collective. You're helping those of us who are in the same situation feel better. That because just one person making shifts for more harmony, more peace in our hearts, the more it's affecting everyone in the same way that are in the same position. Just like, leaving in abusive relationships help every woman on the planet in abusive relationships leave theirs. So it's like we're all helping each other by adapting to this situation, and then you are, producing your best life. Somebody is going to step in and fill that role as your king, whether or not your twin flame is able to do it or not. And there will be a guy that will catch your attention. These guys that have shown up for you so far, you haven't necessarily met one of those guys of a high enough caliber yet. But there are other men other than your twin flame that will be able to catch your attention when it's time and when you're ready. Or, just do your best to be happy in your situation till he gets there. But at the same time, trying not to have any expectations so that you're not in that waiting energy. You know what I mean? You don't want to be telling the law of attraction, I want to sit here waiting forever by waiting. So you really want to
right.
be
and you're trying to, and it's like
gratitude.
Sometimes it's natural, and you have to tell yourself, like, don't, like, you're like, I feel like, am I waiting? And then I have to question myself, like, don't wait. Like, and sometimes I'm going to be honest, I have to force myself to just, like, go on, get out. And when I'm busy, like I was in Europe for 2 weeks, and it was great, and I traveled through, Italy, and did a road trips, and went to Spain, and I was, every day I wake up and I'm like, okay, how can I move forward? How can I make myself happy? Let's just keep on a roll. But it's in those moments when everything is still, and he pops, you know what I mean? And you feel it in your heart, and you're just like, I just want to hear, like, I want to share and sometimes when I'm doing so many fun things, and I'm in Italy, and I'm thinking, I want to sit here.
If only he could be here.
I want him to be here with me.
Yes.
Like, all the time. Like, it is. It's like I want to share so many things with them, and those are the times that it's a little bit of a challenge for me. You know what I mean? So, I mean,
do you know how many?
I'm sure.
Do you know how many tens of thousands of divine feminines, both male and female, are going through exactly what you're going through, including myself, which is shifting a little bit right now, but so I totally understand.
Yeah, I know, and it's nice to like I said, it's nice to talk to somebody that does understand because, I mean, I don't have personal friends that are twin. You know, I have a best friend that I kind of shared it with a little bit, but no, I can tell you that being that well, I'm in my third separation now, but after my 9-month separation, and the second meeting that I had with him, which I've had 4 meetings with him in between after my last separation, and everyone was completely amazing. And we actually, before we came into the separation, we had a huge discussion. And I don't know why my guides urge me to do things. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I've left my house at midnight to, like, when I was divorcing, to go to my ex-husband's house just to prove that I was right about something. And sure enough, my guides were right. I'm like, they nudge me, and I'm like, why am I? And then I don't second guess myself anymore, because I'm like, why do I want to leave my house and get in my car at midnight and go and, you know, do what they're telling me to do? And then they're always right. They're always right. And I was being nudged to talk about twin flames with him. And I even said to him, he's like, well, what does nudged mean? I'm like, well, I don't know. It just means when, you know, I have been so open with him, and I have been guided to be open with him about being spiritual and talking about having full-on conversations with my spirit guides. And I've been very open with him about that. And, you know, we talked a lot, and I said, you know, twin flames, and we were going back and forth in a text message, and he said, I just felt that he said, it's always been great to be with you. He said, but after that last separation, he's like, it just took things to a whole new level. So it's almost like after every separation, it's gone up to the next level every single time.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
it does.
Every separation has brought us to the next level.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, and it's just like,
because I keep thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling like he's actually dealing with his shit. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I haven't talked to him, but I feel like he may just be having a lot of epiphanies. I don't know.
Seriously, like, you will feel that. You'll feel that when they're making shifts, because you're feeling pretty good about yourself as well. You guys feed each other. But I got some other calls to get to, so
okay. Well, so
I better
nice
get to
talking
some
with
of them.
you.
Gosh, you too, and email me and let me know who you are, because right now you're just a phone number.
Oh, I will. And you know what? Because I told you I was in Boulder and I was at the Lighthouse and I bought that book, Hiring the Heavens, and you said, yeah, it was a good book. So I don't know if that brings back a memory to you.
Yes.
Okay. I will email you.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
All right. Thanks, Amy.
All right, have a good night. All right,
You
bye.
too. Bye.
It really is a blessing to be on this journey. It can be very frustrating as well, but I get to work with the most beautiful people. All of you guys are just so amazing. It really is like an honor to be able to help you guys. So, hello?
Hi, Amy. I guess I've been listening to the other callers, and everything's resonating. I'm calling because I wanted to check in with my twin flame, like where he's at or what he's feeling.
Okay, hang on a minute. You haven't heard anything lately?
We spoke maybe about a week and a half ago.
Okay. And it's the conversation you already told me about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on. He knows he's got to make a move. He knows he's got to do something, and soon. I feel like him being antsy, kind of pacing back and forth like a lion or a tiger in a cage.
Okay.
And I'm feeling like I just asked Spirit to show me a couple of tarot cards, and I got the Chariot and 7 of Pentacles.
Oh, okay.
So
maybe he knows he has to put the work in.
Well, Seven of Pentacles, yeah, but Seven of Pentacles to me means like he's just pondering for a moment, taking a look at everything that you guys have been through and how you've come so far, and then he's thinking, if I make one move in that direction, my life is going to be, I'm going to have to be all in or nothing.
Okay. Is it just the fear that prevents him, or is there like anything else that's major going on in his life?
He does have a lot of stuff going on. He wants to be more settled down. He wants to be in a place where you guys could like move into a home together and start having kids, and like he wants to be in that place before he's with you for some reason. It's like he doesn't want to get together until you guys could be quite serious. He would want it to go, and I think that's why we're seeing the Chariot, is he would want it to go very fast. When he's ready, he wants it to go really fast. I think he would get married to you immediately. Like, there's not going to be any dating. It's going to be like, marry me, let's go. Let's go get a house, let's go get, it's going to go fast. So he's just trying to hold you off a little bit to buy some time right now to sort through everything he's got to work through in his life to get to that point of feeling really solid. But I know that he's feeling some pressure to hurry up and do something to hang on to you. He doesn't want to lose you. He really doesn't want to lose you.
Okay. Yeah, because I haven't heard. It's been like a week, and I haven't heard anything. I mean, I knew that he was going to kind of run or ponder or contemplate. So I was just wondering where he was at in that sense then.
Okay, so let me see if I can feel into when he might contact you. I almost feel it's either 3 days or 3 weeks. I know that's a gap, but
yeah,
I can't quite feel it.
I don't hold any like attachment to outcomes, so
that's perfect. Great.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great night.
You're welcome. You too. Bye.
Bye.
See, I knew who she was because she calls me all the time. The ones that come to me on a regular basis. And I will say that I got this really awesome client recently. She ordered my package. Like she ordered something every few days. Like she did 45-minute sessions every few days for a little bit. And she loved them so much she bought a package of 4, and you get a discount for that. And like we've been talking so regularly that she is just always on my mind. I'm always thinking of her. She, I'll get insights for her, and she asks the best questions, just getting right to the point. And it's just like things like, I was thinking of making a video of some of the questions she's asked, like, what has my divine masculine been growing in during this separation period? What are some epiphanies he's had through this time? And how do you think this is going to benefit us and help us in our relationship when we come together? And just stuff that a lot of people haven't really thought through. I'm just like, dang, you come up with the best questions, man. So anyway, hello?
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Sapika. I just called in. I didn't really have any questions. It's my birthday, so I just figured I'd call in and see what you had to say, if you have anything.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful day for a birthday.
Absolutely. The weather's just really great, too.
Oh, my gosh, yes. It feels like there's somebody you need to communicate with, and I feel like he is a male. I feel like, do you have maybe a little brother or somebody who's like a little bit younger than you, male, that you need to talk to?
Yeah, I do have a younger brother, actually.
Okay. When was the last time you talked to him? Or is there an issue you've been avoiding with him?
Not really. I think his temperament is just really tough. He's a younger brother. He's 6 years younger than me, and he was very spoiled as a kid. So he gets very easily agitated, and just really aggressive. So we've never had like the best relationship. This is actually one of the few years where he's like tried a little on my birthday, just because he's going through some stuff, and like I've been helping him through his like career and all that. But I don't know. I think for him, he's just always he's a perfectionist, so he definitely has a lot of like anger issues and frustrations with himself.
Okay. Let me feel into him for just a minute. Okay, so I actually feel like he's going to outgrow some of that anger. I think he's wanting to learn some tools to deal with it, and he really wants to. Believe it or not, he's got a big heart underneath there. He's got a lot of feeling underneath, and that's what it's like. You guys have seen that in each other, that innocence, when you were younger, I think, and he's wanting that back. But it's like his hormones or something are just making everything out of whack, and he's like wanting to balance that out. So maybe he's looking for some advice on some things that he can do to learn how to deal with his feelings. You know what I would do? I would send him a video. It's a Matt Kahn video. It's called Respecting the Shadow. Mm-hmm. And it does a really good job of explaining with some humor, Matt Kahn's humor. It does a really good job of explaining how the shadow side works and how it actually benefits us and helps us, and how to even work with people who are kind of jerks to us. So I think that would really help him. And I think he'd be receptive to even hearing that.
Okay, I'll definitely forward to him.
And I feel like even within the next year or two, you're going to really see him soften up. He's going to open up to you. And if I were you, I would focus on really being a good listener with him. I have a good video on YouTube about being a good listener. But just really... Oh, good. Yeah. So validate him a lot, really listen, and, and try to not react to him in a negative way. Just be like, yeah, I totally get, that would piss me off too, or whatever you can do to kind of help him to feel not judged through this period. Okay. I think will help him to relax into a more mature him again. Like he'll be more of that kind of that wholesome kid you knew a while ago.
Okay. Thank you. I didn't even think about that.
You're welcome.
I was like so concerned, sorry to cut you off, with like career and like with the person before, like twin flame, and I was thinking all down that lane. I didn't even think about like brother.
Well, it's like his higher self is like something needs to be done here. So it's not all that complicated to make it start working. So what's going on with your career?
So my job has been recently moved down to another state, and they told us about like a year ago that we were going to get let go, and then actually a couple days ago I found out that I was going to get let go in August. So it's just it's really shitty timing, obviously, because it's right before my birthday, but also it's very concerning because I don't really know where I'm going with that. So I've been trying to like figure out what I want to do, and I guess like, I don't know, because I've never really cared for a career. I've kind of always seen a career as a tool to bring in money and me to enjoy my life through that. So for me, this is the first time that I'm actually thinking about what I want to be when I grow up, besides when I was in high school.
So what are some of the options? What are some things you're taking a look at? What are the multiple choice you're like taking a look at?
Currently, so I'm in media right now. So I've applied to like 1,000,001 media jobs just because I figured that was the easiest way to do it. Okay. And it doesn't necessarily spark joy, but it's kind of, I think, something that I know and that I'm good at, and something where I know I can see myself growing in, because that's really important to me. Like, I do want to have a managerial role in the future. The only thing that like recently came up that I thought was really cool was that I applied for a job at Condé Nast, actually, which is a publishing house, and they do like a couple magazines like Vogue, and it would be a pay cut, and it's definitely a reach because it's something I don't feel like I'm qualified for. But that was something where I was like, wow, this really does, like, even the opportunity of getting like called back just made me feel so good about myself. And I feel like I can't really find that feeling in a lot of things because I don't see anything that I specifically love. And
okay, so you could go ahead and get a job in media, but I feel like you're being pulled over to the publishing side. And even though you don't feel qualified, I was feeling that some doors are going to open for you because you're supposed to be going that direction.
Okay.
So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would just put your feelers out and see which one of those doors was the one that was supposed to pop open for you.
Okay.
Maybe just hang on a minute.
Mhm.
Maybe just I'm seeing a letter being sent to them that just really talks about your passion. They're going to see that you're a good writer. It makes me think of a movie, and I don't remember what that movie is. Dang it! Oh, it was actually it was how to lose a guy in 10 days.
Oh, okay.
It kind of has a
movie.
I know it has it has that feel to it. Like you're going to get a shot.
Okay.
So, but get the media job if you want to just, sometimes we got to go forward in any direction, just to get the wheels turning, until we find that thing. But, yeah, definitely. I would say both, but the publishing feels like it's really pulling you right now.
Okay. I'll definitely go down that.
Yeah. Okay. So a quick question with the twin, and then I got to move on. What do you want to know about him right now?
Yeah. I just want to know why the hell he hasn't reached out yet. I actually called you in the beginning of the year, and you told me that they were he was with the Karmic. I don't know if he's still with her, but you told me that they were going to break up in April. And I mean, I haven't necessarily been waiting, but especially today, because somebody a couple days ago brought him up really randomly and was like, "Hey, have you heard from him?" And I was like, and it was one of my best friends. You damn well know I haven't heard from him. If I did, I would shout it from the rooftops. So when she said that, he has a way of like creeping back in around my birthday, but he always does it in a very obnoxious way where he'll send a belated text like a week after and be like, "I was thinking about texting you, but something held me back." And I'm just kind of like, come on, you gotta, you stop being held back. Get with the program. I'm tired of waiting. You gotta come or get out.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? Okay. Hang on. It's like
Uh-oh.
This poor guy. Oh my gosh. I saw him sitting in the middle of a teeter-totter with his hand, with his fist to his knee, like he was pouting. And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What happened?" And he showed me her being on one side of the teeter-totter, the Karmic, and him on the other side, like jumping really hard to fly her off, and she wouldn't get off. And she's like, you know how spiders, they'll sometimes do that? They'll like they'll grab on. You can't get rid of them for nothing. And it's like, it was like that. He is just beside himself. He is stuck. He just feels like so frustrated and defeated at the moment. And she's like all celebrating. Yay, he's still with me.
Now I feel bad.
I know. And he's just going.
Just like, well, sorry.
He's like, I cannot like shake her for the life of me. And he's black. He's completely black. And black is negativity. So, and she's black too. She's all happy, celebrating fakely in a way, because it's like she's trying to tell all her friends they're really happy and stuff. She's even putting pictures on social media and stuff. And he's just like going, what a phony baloney, because we are not happy. And he's kind of disgusted with the situation. But again, another masculine who is, hemming and hawing, going back and forth, and just can't just be done with it. But, not to be judged, because everything in perfect timing, but it's like, it gets a little frustrating for the feminines who are ready to roll. And they have no idea, these masculines have no idea how excited they're going to be to finally begin their new life with their feminine. So let me just have a little talk with him for a minute. Hang on.
Okay.
I tried to tell him how happy he'd be with you, and he was like, I know. You don't have to convince me. I think about it all the time and I hate it. I know the life that's waiting for me. It's not that. It's that she cannot be shaken off this stick. So I'm just going to reassure. I'm going to give him a little, here, actually, you do it because you guys are closer. Just in your mind's eye tonight, like maybe even after this, just hold his hands, look him in the eyes, in your mind's eye, and just tell him you love him, that you believe in him, and that he can do this. Give him some. Okay, so this is all right. Anybody under 18 cannot listen to this part. Cover your ears, okay? But here's one thing you can do, and this has been proven. But there's a great manifestation tool, and it is to please yourself. And at the moment of climax, say what you got to say to him. Say you believe in him. Tell him that he's strong. Tell him he can do anything he puts his mind to. Tell him to be creative or come up with a solution or whatever, but say it at the moment of climax.
Okay.
And it'll go right into his brain. And it'll help him. It'll help him be empowered. It'll help him be strong. It'll help him to get over it. And when you've got that kind of a connection to somebody, they'll feel it at that moment.
Okay.
So just saying, there's an idea.
Okay.
But if not that, then the other, where you just hold his hands, look him in the eyes, and just say, just say what you got to say to him, and you'll feel his heart. Surround him with pink. Surround him with pink. And also, if you go to surround somebody with pink and you give them a blessing, you could say I bless him with pure love and light. I bless him with pure source energy. You can try to surround him with pink. And if he pushes back against the pink, then he's being resistant to you for whatever reason. But if he allows himself to be surrounded with the pink, then you guys are pretty much on the same team.
Okay.
And that he'll feel that love, and it'll encourage him on some level. So I got more calls to get to, but happy birthday.
No problem. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you. You too. Bye. Hello?
Hi, Amy.
Hi.
First, I just want to say that I'm loving the best kept manifestation secret.
Well, you get a little something out of it too, right? It's a win-win for everybody.
Exactly. I love it. So I had you do a quick love spread for me about a week ago, and the results were very positive and very much in alignment with how I've been feeling and other messages that I've gotten, which is, he knows I'm the one. He's going to come rushing back, and things are going to move fast, for us to establish a family.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm really interested in is where he's at now, because a couple of weeks ago, he really cut things off and said, I don't think we should communicate anymore. I've moved on. And
okay.
I almost didn't believe it. It felt very much like he was just trying to shut down even more to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm having all of these really strong feelings that there's something that he needs to tell me. There's secrets that have been kept. And I had, through our relationship, there were several things that happened that intuitively I'm just this doesn't feel right. And he never, it was you're being crazy. And so I kind of pushed those to the side. So I'm just really trying to understand, is that, do you see that in the picture, and maybe what that looks like and when I might hear from them?
Yeah, it feels to me like he's doing the typical, push away for now. And I think you're absolutely right. I feel like there's some fear involved. It's almost like I'd rather push her away than tell her what has been going on.
Yeah.
It's like a defensive posture.
Right.
And with these twin flame relationships, their feelings are always equal to yours. So don't ever fall for any kind of story that you tell yourself that it's unrequited love. That's just not the case with these kind of relationships. The key, though, is to figure out, is this a twin flame? Is this, that kind of thing. So, but once you're to this point where you have this knowingness, then you got to not doubt that part. So then you got to ask yourself, so if they love me as much as I love them, And if they want me just as bad as I want them, then why are they saying this? Why are they doing this? So you were smart to look at it that way. You're like, okay, if he really does love me, which I know that he does, then he must be pushing me away because he doesn't want to admit something, or or his ego would be bruised, or he's hiding something, or whatever, because that's more likely the case.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of them are pretty ashamed of some things that they've gone through, and they don't want to fess up to it. They don't want to admit it, which kind of feels like his case. It feels like he's beating himself up. He feels a little bit defeated, and a little bit like, what do you tell a guy like that? What do you say to him? I know you're holding some secrets back. Please confess, and I'll let you know that I forgive you and I love you, and you'll totally be set at ease. But please just talk to me so that I can, tell you that everything's cool. You can't really tell them that, because you can try to be as soft as you can be so that you look like you're safe, but ultimately everybody convinces themselves of whatever they want to believe, and the feminines do it too. Like, the masculines sometimes go in the feminine's direction, and the feminines push them away inadvertently because they're believing what they want to believe. Oh, you're just using me for sex, or you just, they both do it to each other.
Yeah, it's hard to, it's like that line of, am I right on, am I spot on, or am I just letting my imagination run wild?
No, I think you're right. But let me just see anything that you could do.
Okay.
Just let him know, I'm going to respect your wishes. I won't contact you anymore. And then just tell him, if there comes a time in the future you feel like you need a shoulder to cry on or somebody to talk to, I'll be here. I'm not permanently shutting the door, but I will leave you alone and respect your wishes.
Yeah, it feels like you said. I mean, like, I'm concerned about. Like, it feels something like it's really heavy.
It does. And you could even say to him, if you have a lot of confidence in how you feel, which I'm backing you up on this. You could say, I've heard what you have to say, and I will back off, and I will respect you. I just can't help but think there's something more to this that you're not telling me. But at some point in the future, if you should feel like opening up to me, I will listen with, I will be here with open arms to listen.
Yeah,
something
which I really
to that
do
effect.
Feel like, because I've grown so much since we've been apart, that I really do feel very strongly that I can hear whatever it is. I'm not saying that,
I feel him sobbing. I feel him sitting and crying in his hands.
Yeah, I think it's something big, and he had a very hard time opening up anyway from some things in his past, and so
he is so hard on himself. He's got to learn to love himself. And you can't teach that, unfortunately.
Right. And he comes off like everything, you know what I mean? He comes off like such a confident person. It was always like, you're the one that needs to like figure that out. But I'm like, I think it was the other way around. I mean, we both had to grow, but I figured myself out, and I'm just wondering if he has done that growth work yet, or if he's just stuck in.
I think he's pretty stuck right now. I think he's curious as to how he could get himself out of this. I think he has some really good friends that are like encouraging him to do something about it. But as of right now, I just feel a lot of resistance for the moment.
Gotcha. Well,
but pray for him and do the same thing as I told the last caller, and just like send him your love, tell him you believe in him, tell him he can tell you anything. You're not going to judge him.
Right. Yeah. I know him, and so I know it's just like, I would rather be miserable than have to face her and admit these things. And
it feels like he opened up to somebody in the past who was a real witch to him.
Yeah.
She threw it in his face at every opportunity. She was horrible to him. And so he just doesn't want to deal with that again, and he also doesn't want to be knocked down a peg in your eyes either.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah, it's just tough. It's tough. Sorry.
No, I'll keep keeping on and keep, working on myself and just hope for the best.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you need me again, let me know. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Amy.
Candace?
Yes, this is Candace.
Oh, I'm so good. I must be psychic or something.
I think so. How have you been, first of all? Let me get that. How have you been?
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. I've been good.
That's wonderful. That's amazing. I think about you often, believe it or not. I'm like, I see your videos and stuff and your Instagram, and I'm like, I wonder how she's doing out there in Colorado.
Thank you. So what can I help you with?
Well, I was calling because in the past, I've called about my work situation, and you gave me some great advice, and it all worked out, and I'm like extremely happy at my new job.
Yay!
Yay! But my, the twin flame situation, I guess I've always been, I don't know, not indifferent to the whole thing, but I've always just been kind of open to doing my own thing and letting him live his life and I live mine, and trying to manifest the soulmate of my own because he's in a karmic situation, and not that I don't think about him, but I don't make him my focus ever.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
But one day, and it's been like I said, I think I've told you this before. I think I may be the masculine. I assume I am because, but every once in a while I do get triggered, and since I've left my old job, which he was also an employee at, and I would see him every day. I no longer see him, which is fine. Great, no problem. 2 Saturdays ago, I was in the grocery store, 6:30 in the morning when nobody's there, right? Because it's empty. I've got nobody else's energy to worry about. So I'm grocery shopping, 6:30 in the morning on a Saturday, and all of a sudden he came to mind, like literally came to my mind. It just popped into my head. And I kid you not, I took 7 steps to the right, and he was standing right there in the poultry section shopping for chicken.
Wow.
Yes.
A chicken.
He didn't see me.
For chicken.
And I'm a vegetarian, so I steer clear of that area. I don't even shop there. But
wow.
I did not let him see. I saw him, and again, whenever I'm around him, for some reason, my body vibrates internally, and it gets, I don't want to say violent, but sometimes it gets to the point of anxiety. And I ducked off. I literally turned down the peanut butter aisle. I didn't even need peanut butter, but I didn't want him to see me. Did not. And before you know it, my phone is ringing, and it's him. So I couldn't not answer it.
Unbelievable. That is just unbelievable.
It creeps me out sometimes. And
Were you in the store?
I was in the store.
Were you still in the store? Oh my God!
I was still in the store when he called, and so of course I answered the phone, and he was like, "Well, where are you? What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just grocery shopping, buying some stuff for the kids, whatever." And then my phone it went dead. It just hung up. So I was like, "Oh, well, maybe we had a bad connection." I threw my phone in my purse, and I kept walking, and the next thing I know, I hear his voice behind me. And he's like, "Are you really going to pretend like you don't see me?"
Whoa.
And it was just a lot of small talk. It just did not feel genuine. It didn't feel like it had in the past when we first met. So I after we had that conversation, my body's vibrating. I got this anxiety. I try not to think about him. I've been trying to, date other people, whatever. I'm happy at my new job. He's standing in front of me, and he's literally just making small talk. And I wanted to run. I wanted to leave. I didn't want to stand there and talk to him because
I felt like there was no point. There was no purpose because I've told him so many times, you know, I'm your friend, I'm here for you, you know, I just want you to be happy. And I know he's not happy. He's told me things over the years that, you know, I know he's not happy. I can feel that he's not happy. And I think because I am happy, he's being drawn to me. I'm assuming. So I guess my question to you is, because after that day, and I typically don't do this to him, but after that day, I sent him a text message saying, listen, I was very uncomfortable. That was awkward for me. The next time we see each other, I just, you know, I would be okay with us just waving and we just keep going. Like, I don't need the fake, disingenuine conversation because that's what it was. And it felt like he was standing there because he needed my energy, because by the time I walked off from him, I was exhausted. And it made me so sad. I was like, and I didn't want to blame him, but in my mind I'm like, why is he doing this?
Right.
Why is
do something about this?
Do something about this, right? So my question to you is, what is my block? Like, what is blocking me from being okay around him, or from, like, why do I keep pushing him away or running from him, or, you know, having this anxiety when I'm in his presence?
It feels like you just might actually have some pent up anger. So I would, if you were to just do some exercises on the anger itself, I feel like a lot of that would lift. You know what? Actually, I have an exercise. You can look it up on YouTube if you want the instructions. But there's an exercise I call "Thank You God for My Misery," and you just write down what you're unhappy about, either past or present, and you say, "Thank you God that my twin flame has decided to be really stupid right now." And then you write down all the benefits and advantages, at least 10 to 15, even sarcastic things. And write down those benefits and advantages as to why that's perfect right now. And then keep doing it in different ways. Putting it different ways or different aspects of it. Thank you, God, that my twin flame is ignoring me. Thank you, God, that my twin flame is, you know, with some other woman that he's miserable with. Thank you, God, that, you know, everything that you think is a bad thing, just thank God for it and list those advantages and do as many as you can for as long as you can, and you'll make some shifts in that energy. But that's all I feel it is. Okay. And I think that was a good boundary to set. You know, if you're going to be fake with me, I mean, I know some, some of these feminines have masculines that are saying things to them about how miserable they are in their lives and things. And the feminines are just like, please don't, you know, and they're saying sexual things and making passes at them and stuff like that. And they're just like, don't even flirt with me or show me pictures or tell me what's going on in your life. Or don't do anything until you're like ready to be with me, until you want to. So it's like, then you have the feminines who are actually never hearing from them. And it's like better that you're not hearing from them than for them to be flirting with you while they're with somebody else and, you know, doing all that stuff. So,
because that's a certain thing. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't.
No.
It's attention, but
it's
the wrong attention.
Yeah, it doesn't feel right. It just doesn't, even though you guys know you're true love, it's like still kind of like, seriously, if she knew that you were texting me saying that and sending those pictures, I wouldn't be that, you know, stay in your integrity. It's better if they're silent. And if they're not silent, set boundaries just like you did. So, okay, well, I've got not much time left and a few other callers.
Okay,
but does that
thank
help?
you so much. Yes, actually, I have like 1,000 journals. I'm gonna write in one tonight.
Yay! Okay, let me know how that goes.
I will. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good night.
Bye. You too.
Okay, hang on. Ashley, I'm trying to pick you up. Here we go. Ashley?
Hey. Yes.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good. So I just wanted to do a couple of things, 2 energy check-ins. I want to know where is my masculine at in terms of moving forward or away from his karmic or toward what is he doing? I have no idea.
Okay. Hang on. Oh, that's interesting. I think he's spying on you. It's
How
almost
is that
like
possible? Because he has no way of knowing anything about me that I know of. I'm not.
That's funny. What I'm feeling is like it's like you really, because that's funny, because that's what I feel from him. Like he's incognito. It's like he's in a crowd of people and he's watching you just to see. I don't know. That's what I'm seeing, though. He's got like sunglasses on and he's hiding and he's just watching you. And it's kind of like he just wants to feel more comfortable approaching you. So he's trying to kind of follow you and see what you're like naturally. And then see if when he interacts with you, if you act the same way, like how genuine you are.
Well, I will be nice to him, but I want him to be brave enough to come to me without knowing, really. I'm a little stubborn about it, but I need to know he really wants to be with me.
Well, he will. He'll get to that point where he can do that. This is just his way of dealing with it. So he's getting there. Getting there. And this could be symbolic, by the way. So he could be watching you like on social media or something like that.
Yeah, see, I don't have any social media.
That is so weird. I don't know how he's watching you, but somehow he's watching you. Maybe he got a private investigator. I don't know. Maybe he's talking to a psychic, and the psychic is telling him what's going on with you.
I hope he is talking to a psychic, because the psychic will tell him, she's great, go for it. I don't know what he's doing.
You're right.
Okay, so he's really coming toward me. Okay, my story's a little different with him in that we've had absolutely no contact for 9 years, except for one run-in at a funeral. That's the only way we have ever run into each other was at a funeral. And
interesting.
I was a year ago. I didn't know we were twin flames until 3 months ago. So at the time, I didn't know. Anyways, he was with his karmic and everything, and he tried to make small talk with me, and I didn't appreciate it at all. I related to the last caller with the small talk thing. I can't do the small talk. I mean, I want you to reach out to me in a brave way. So I wasn't really receptive to the small talk. Is he scared of me now because of that interaction? Is he going to have the courage to come forward?
Yeah, he will. He is. He is, and he will. You made him like, you took him back. And so he was like, okay, so she's not going to be cool with that. I got to think about what now. He
understands that it was his approach that was really not cool.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. And it feels like the next time he comes to you, he really does want to feel confident, but he's just got to spy until he feels confident.
Okay.
So I guess let him do that, and let me feel into when he might like approach you or call you or do something.
Okay.
I actually feel like it's going to be sometime in June.
Really?
Yeah. Now don't hold me to any time. Predictions, but it feels like June.
3 months ago when I found out about twin flames, I totally forgave him. It made me understand what's going on, and
Cool.
My energy is totally changed toward him, and I will be totally receptive to talking to him. I can't let him know that, though. One, because I don't have any way of contacting him. Two, because I want him to come forward.
Yeah. Well, you gotta, in a way though, if I were you, I would be gentle because, I mean, sometimes it's very hard and scary for them to even approach you and say something. You don't want to be a mean and nasty monster that makes him run scared. So
I wouldn't
the more you
at all.
okay, so the more you can just cut them some slack and realize how hard it is for them to even approach you, then the better. Because it's also, you got to think about how you'll be in the relationship. He needs to feel comfortable talking to you when you guys are together as well. So
Yeah. Well, now that I've forgiven him, I do get it. I get it. I understand what's going on now.
Yeah.
But he was really terrible to me 9 years when we separated. He was really terrible, and really the whole time we were together, he was treating me really just unfairly, and so I had a lot of anger toward him. But I get now what happened because I learned about twin flames. But for all those years before that, I thought he was like a sociopath. I didn't know.
Well, usually there's just kind of well, here's how I feel like the difference is between a twin flame and a false twin flame. A false twin flame, they don't have compassion. They're like a total psychopath or sociopath or somebody who just they do not care. Whereas a twin flame is going to be very kind-hearted, very, very loving, compassionate, very sweet person at their core, but they sometimes lash out at you or say things that are insensitive, because they're scared or they're afraid to be hurt or they don't know what else to say. But they're not the false twin flames are going to even be abusive and they don't give a crap. So that's how I usually tell the difference between the two.
I think I'm dealing with a twin flame. Am I right or wrong? What do you think? Do you think it's real?
Yeah, I think he's a twin.
Thank you. God, I think so too, because it just really feels like a part of me is missing, and I'll feel like I'll never get it back.
Yeah.
I have one more really important thing, not to take up too much time, but his karmic has been coming into my dreams twice in 1 week, and in one of them she was trying to physically hurt me.
Ooh.
Can you please tell me what she wants, what she's doing with me? Is she in any way going to be able to harm me, like psychically, or what does she want with me? I don't.
Okay, hang on a minute. They're asking me to do some light language protection for you. Okay. And this will be for everybody across the board. Anyone who hears this light language blessing, this is going to protect you from any type of harm similar to this at all. Okay, so just relax, drop your shoulders, and I'll be able to tell you more after I'm done. Okay, hang on. Hale emomoa ka isa, hasheseke na pukona, hale isa, ai, omomo kon chonsa tela kirinsa, hale kititsan, hale emomoa anchan sai, hale kitina omo aga nadais, lake ishisa ampo onta tela ndatatis, akashisa emomoa aka nale ina. Okay. It's actually going to, I basically just set a boundary for staying away from your sleep state. Also, you guys, before you go to bed, make sure that you pray that your guides protect you while you're sleeping, because the veil's getting thinner on the other side, and there are other forces that are trying to kind of eat off of our energy, suck our energy like vampires while we're sleeping. So, definitely set the intention that your guides protect you while you're sleeping. She is, I feel like she's pretty desperate. I think it's a good sign that he's, starting a new life and headed your direction, because she's getting kind of desperate in the 5D. It's like she's known about you and she's done all that she could to try to keep him away from you all this time, but her time is coming to a close. It's funny too, because the Karmics grasp so desperately to these masculines, but they don't realize that they could have somebody super incredible coming around the corner for them if they would just let go and trust life. So anyway, I got to get to these other callers. But thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good night.
Bye. You too.
Bye. Okay, hang on just a minute. I swear I have to tap like several times for it to even pick up or hang up. Hello, Mackenzie?
Hi. Hi, Amy.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. I know you're short on time, so I'll get real quick to the point. I've talked to you before about my twin, and he's just got so many issues. He's with somebody else after a long relationship that he was in, and he's told me that he wanted to be on good terms with me, and everything seemed like everything was fine. And he was in posts on Facebook with this new girl and everything, and he said, "I hope you respect me, and she makes me happy." And this is, I'm like, okay, fine. And so I went, and in my travels, somebody that I was with a couple of years ago, we kind of got back together, and then there was like this one post of him and I on Facebook, and then he like unfriended me on Facebook, and now he wanted to be on good terms with me, but I think only because it was like good terms with what he was comfortable with, maybe.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, well, okay. Like, so what is that now? Like, are we not supposed to, I know we can't be friends, but like, does that mean that we are not on good terms because he was doing the same thing? I don't understand what I did.
Okay, hang on. It hurt him. That's usually why they block. They don't want to see something. So it hurts him right now to even think about you. He thinks about you enough. So it's like he just doesn't, he's like, it's too much. It's too much for him right now. It does feel like around October, feels like there's going to be a shift with him, and he might reach out to you and want to, I don't know, like get coffee or something. Like and if not literally, then that would be symbolically, like have a heart-to-heart. So I would just go into complete silence mode until then. Until he reaches out, which he will. But I would just really let him. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it always seems like he does come back around, but like he is forever. I've just turned 42 the other day, and I've known him since I was 17 years old, and he has kept me at arm's length our entire lives. I didn't see him for a long time. But he keeps, and even one of my best friends mentioned it to me before. She was like, he keeps you just safe enough away from him. And I think that is the best you're going to get. And I was like, whoa. Well, she doesn't understand this, so it's like, I'm not trying to push back about it, but like, that's true. He does. He keeps me at a comfortable place, and if it gets too close, he sabotages it every single time.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Twin flames, man. Sometimes they're the best thing on the planet, and other times they're the biggest curse. So let me feel into seeing if you guys even have a shot. Let's just see if you got a shot. I get a yes, unfortunately. Damn it! I was hoping that was going to be a no. Oh,
Isn't it ridiculous?
Yes. Let me just see what happened.
Okay.
It's like, it just feels like he gets tired of the immaturity. He gets tired of his own immaturity. I'm going to pick some cards, too. If the Hierophant comes out, I'm going to be, like, freaking out right now. Okay. We're the Four of Wands. Okay. Aw. Okay, so yeah, he's going to be transforming. I got the Death card, the Two of Cups, so that's like total transformation because of his love for you, because he knows you're his true love. And he's got the Knight of Cups, so he's going to be making a romantic offer, but he's just looking for an opportunity to do that and for there to be an end of a difficult period, so that and it's your nostalgic sweet connection, that picture that you posted and that he posted. That's what's like his driving force, is that sweet connection you guys have, and it's causing this big major transformation, and it's making him realize you're his true love. So
because he saw me in a picture with somebody else?
Yeah, and well, hell yeah. I mean, you don't like seeing pictures of him with anybody, right? Then I get the conflict card talking about that. That's funny.
No, I absolutely do not. But and when I first saw it, it was truly, truly jaw-dropping, upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned to accept it. You know, like I'm not as jarred when I see it now. I'm like, oh, there it is. Oh yeah, that sucks.
Totally.
But this was the first one that he's ever seen, I think, that's made a difference.
Yeah, it really hurt him. So, that's what you got. But, you know, I don't know. If something better comes along, you might be tempted to do that.
No, I am. Like I went away for the weekend with this person that I'm with, and it's lovely. He's like a soulmate kind of person. But you know, there's always this thing with this other person. It's like this haunting. It's like a never ending. It just won't let you go. And it's like, Jesus Christ. So like, just let it go.
Yeah. Well, let it go as best you can. Move on with this new guy and have a good time.
I will. All right.
It's
Thank
all
you so
going to
much,
work
Amy.
out beautifully in the end.
I know. Well, thank you so much. You have a great night.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Okay, one more. Hello?
Hello. Hi, how are you, Amy?
Hi, thanks for waiting.
No worries.
Glad we could get you.
So, yeah, no, it worked out good. And I appreciate the IG reminders. Those are very helpful, especially with the time.
The what reminders?
So, the Instagram post reminders.
Good. Oh, good.
So,
thank you.
Two kind of quick points here. One is related to more of my business stuff. I am struggling trying to figure out pricing, and I think valuing the services that I offer and putting out quotes and wanting to make sure that I'm never overpricing or underpricing. And I was wondering if you could just like tune in, and based on even just this one project I'm working on right now, like, is the number I have, is it going to be something where they go, oh my gosh, this woman's ridiculous? Or would it be like, yeah, okay, we'll sign the papers, let's get going?
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
Let's do this. It's right on.
Okay. I've got no other like precedents to follow because my services are not normal, and so it's hard to see if that'll kind of play out.
I would offer sometimes I would offer specials or incentives, like a referral bonus or first time. Every once in a while I'd put some kind of a discount out there. But I think you're right on.
Okay. And then the other thing,
they want you to start gathering some testimonials too and putting them on your website.
Okay. Yeah, I do have a few, but I think I need to kind of up the ante on that a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so I'll quickly then just jump to the twin flame thing. So I think it might have been the woman who called in. She was like third, and she was talking about how they kind of like said, oh, I don't want to talk with you anymore. Like, I've got my own issues, and kind of she could tell that there was something more that he wanted to express and wasn't. I feel like I'm like her storyline, maybe like 2 days in advance or something. So if she's listening to this still, I had got the same response from my twin flame, and I was like, okay, well, I'm here for you. Like, if you need to talk, like, let me know. And he was like, no, I'm good. And then I felt so hurt and rejected from that I ended up like kind of canceling all of our WhatsApp conversations, and I unfriended him on Facebook and whatever. And he just recently reached out and was like, I'm totally like in over my head. I need help. You're the only person that I think I can talk to right now about this, and was kind of alluding to what he's going through. So tomorrow he's supposed to come over and we're supposed to talk.
Wow.
But I feel like so we'll see how that pans out. But I feel like I am it's either he fears rejection and then he pushes away, or I feel rejection and I push away. And I feel like right now I'm doing that. So I don't know how I can understand a bit more about what he's going through. And I guess where like a little bit of insight would be lovely.
Okay, sure. Hang on a minute. I'm going to go to your guys' talk for a sec.
Okay.
Well, he's definitely he's too emotional, and he's too chaotic and confused to really make you any kind of promises or anything, and which is fine. So your job is to just listen. It's only to listen and validate. That's it. Don't try to come to any kind of action steps at all.
Okay.
Just
like, and that between him and I, or between what he needs to do to rectify whatever this is that he's going to tell me?
Any of it.
Okay.
In fact, it kind of feels like, just be a good friend. Just be a really good friend and listen really well, and help him feel heard, help him sort it out as best you can. And then it feels like it might just take like a couple of days, and he might turn right around and have some kind of like an epiphany that helps him feel strong. And because you listened a couple of days prior with no attachment to anything needing to happen between you guys or anything, it's like he just really appreciates it. It helps him have some kind of an awareness because of your level of detachment.
Okay.
So your objective is to just... Yeah?
No, you keep going.
Yeah, your objective is to just be the best sounding board you can possibly be, and just don't even jump to any kind of conclusions or solutions necessarily. Just let them be completely heard.
Okay. The one thing though that I did find extremely intriguing was in the conversations we were having over text. He said in multiple ways, he's like, I'm sorry how I've treated you with this, or, yeah, that wasn't right of me. I'm sorry I've never, asked you how you're doing and all these things. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, everything Amy's saying is, coming out in text. And then at one point he said something about, don't worry, I'm experienced. Oh, he'd said, I guess I'm not much of a dater. I'm like, oh, but you are. You just weren't dating me, or something like that. And he was like, yeah, don't worry, karma's coming around full circle. And I was like, oh, the fact that he used the word karma. I was like, what? And
wow.
So there was a few things in there where I'm like, you can't make this stuff up. So, anyways, we'll see what it actually is that he's all kind of expressing tomorrow, if that does pan out, because it sounds like everything, all the deception, that's the story he's totally overburdened with. So
yay, what a great thing to get off his chest.
Yeah,
that's going to feel so good, and you'll feel so good supporting him like that too.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. One random question is, so his best friend, Dave, he's always I feel like he might be a soulmate something for me potentially, but every time he messages me out of the blue, 6 months haven't heard from him, a few days later I'll know that my twin flame will message me. And so the joke is now I need one to message me and I know the other one will follow, but they never share that they've talked with me, and they don't converse that they have reached out to me. So I'm just wondering if you can feel into his energy, if there's some type of dynamic there that I'm not aware of.
And that's his best friend is your soulmate?
Friend, yeah. Well,
that's so interesting.
I don't know if it's a soulmate. I don't know if it is a soulmate. It's weird because asked my twin flame, I'm like, hey, were you talking with him? And he was like, no, why? Like, not about you. And I was like, oh, okay, because he messaged me and I said he was at the hospital and this. He's like, wait, he was at the hospital? So, like, I'm even getting stories that the two of them haven't even talked. But they both reached out to me, and, like, it's either hours or days in between. Like clockwork.
Okay, so they've been best friends. I feel they've been best friends in other past lives.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was a similar dynamic, but what would happen is, like, one guy would want to tell you everything. This would be your twin flame, would want to tell you something, and then the other one would be like, if you're not going to go do it, I'm going to do it. And so he'd be like, okay, I'll do it. And so I think that
like spilling the beans type of thing.
Yeah. If you're not going to tell her, I'm going to go tell her. Or if you're not going to date her, I'll date her. And it's like, what? Just kind of trying to get the other one to do what he needs to do. And so I think it's more happening on an energetic basis based on that past. I don't know how many past lives went on like that, but I think the three of you have been in a lot of past lives together. And there's it's kind of been a playful dynamic is what that feels like. And so that, I think it's going on like in the 5D between the three of you. Hang on a second. Let me see if there's another part of that you need to know about. Well, it would be like the thing if you I do not suggest this, but one thing that you used to do would be to go out with the best friend, even like kind of both like winking at each other, like knowing what you're doing, like going out with each other to have a good time, and then the twin flame finds out and gets really like, it just makes him realize his feelings for you like big time, and that he wants to do something about it. So not condoning game playing whatsoever, but more that his best friend would be in on it too, and you guys would be kind of laughing about it, and then he shows up all mad, and then the two of you are laughing, going, we were trying to get you to do something. So, so I don't know if that's going to actually play out or not, but that's the energy that I'm picking up on from your guys' past life history.
Okay.
So, and it's all in good fun. It feels like the three of you used to get along really beautifully. So, yeah.
Okay. Oh, one last question. One of the side business ventures that I feel like I'm being guided to do is to do some basically like a tiny house development. And I was just wondering if you could kind of feel into that, and if there's anything I would need to know, direct my energy to, etc.
Okay. Builders. Yeah, I'm just seeing some guys with tool belts. So I don't know if that means like, I mean, I would think that these tiny houses would be manufactured, right?
Something of that. Yeah. I guess it's more like, is this direction, like, am I picking up on it? Yes, this is something that is like my divine purpose. Like, I need to be heading off in this direction.
Yes, definitely. It just feels like I just keep seeing this guy with a tool belt on, though. So maybe just be picky or choosy about the guys that are putting it together. It's like you guys go a different route than doing it the typical manufacturing kind of way, and you actually have maybe real men working on building these little houses. Maybe they're more custom, or maybe I think there's going to
custom for sure.
Oh, okay. Okay,
like
so you guys are going to
do. Should be unconventional.
Awesome. Well, it feels very community oriented. It feels like you're going to get.
It's like you're reading my notes.
Yeah, it's going to be like involve a lot of people in gardening and living in these communities. And it feels really nice. And it's like even buying a big piece of property for everybody to live on, and you got to come up with like what's going to be required and the forms they'll have to fill out and what's going to qualify them or whatnot. So it has a really great feel though. So I think it'll be successful. I think it'll go well. And something about everybody having like shared responsibility or something.
Yeah.
So
Okay, that sounds
fresh
good.
food,
Thank you.
really fresh, awesome food. Looks really good. All right.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so if you've listened this long, thank you so much. I appreciate that, and hopefully you got a lot out of this. If you guys want an individual session, I do 20-minute or 45-minute sessions, and I also do my quick relationship spreads for $22. You can find any of those on my website at amysatori.com. The wait is not long, and in fact, you get the quick relationship spreads for $22 within 24 hours. And they're just like little 2 to 3 minute videos that give you an idea of what your person thinks of you, how they're feeling about you, and the actions they're planning to take with you. So have yourselves a beautiful morning, day, or evening wherever you are, and know that I'm with you. I'm probably in your dreams because I work 24/7 all the time, and I hear about it all the time. And so we'll talk to you, I guess we'll talk to you next week or the next time a video pops in my head to make. So, all right. And remember, I'm here every Sunday at 6 p.m. Should you want to call the show like next week or the week after? And that's Mountain Time. So figure it out in your own zone. Anyway, all right. Catch you next time on the Satori Show.